Check. Can you hear me? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Red Seat Live show. Turn down this intro here, huh? Sorry about that, chat. $5 super chat, by the way, before I even got on stream from the one and only CH, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. He says, well, Corbin, I admit I'm satisfied overall with the offseason. This is going to be an interesting conversation. This kind of perfectly helps our conversation today, CH, so I appreciate that. He says, I'm overall satisfied. We got Contreras, Durbin, Gray, Suarez, and now IKF as just a utility player, which is solid. I don't disagree. I think it's a solid-ish offseason for the Red Sox. I don't think you're wrong there. I appreciate the $5 and welcome to the live stream. Who else we got in here, huh? We got, I don't know if Mike is in here having conversations with people before I'm even remotely on stream. So I don't know if he's still in here, but what's up, brother? Let's start with when stream actually started here. We got DT, how you doing? Dale, what's up? Fernando, Vaping. Meek, how you doing? Michael, Mr. Fenway, Joe, how you doing? Cleve is in the building. Dog is in the building. Beast is in the building. Logan is in the building. Cameron's in the building. Shane and Gritty, man. What's up, folks? What is up, folks? I can't wait to see his pitching competition. Who gets number 5? Yeah, spring training is going to be fascinating for that, for sure. What's up, Edits? How you doing? Very much am, Corbin. The man, Mr. Money Mike Madison in the building. Everyone, can we take a second? Moment of silence for Mr. Money Mike's David Hamilton jersey. Thank you. What up, Spencer? How you doing? Under over 94 wins. I'd say under. I think 90, 92 is sort of the range I'm thinking. Duran and Abreu for Tatis. I mean, technically you could make that. I think if you're talking in terms of value, that it would be interesting. Maybe the Red Sox and Padres match up. It's never gonna happen. I think we're in a good spot. We have all our chips. We need to trade for power before the deadline and a solid lineup going into the season. Yeah, I don't disagree. Shooter, what's up, brother? Hey, you changed the profile picture. Bobby, how's it going? Losing SB takes about a month to recover. As a fan, even. Yeah, I think. I think a lot of people are kind of still in a Super Bowl hangover here. Okay. So you're probably wondering, if the Red Sox win the World Series, I got to quit my day job. Listen, if you guys get me there and we do win a World Series, I'll quit my day job immediately. But you guys got to help me out there. You like the ambiance in the videos? Thank you, man. I've been really trying to figure out the lighting in situations. Like, this is obviously a little bit different. I'm going on a tangent already. By the way, if you think I couldn't find anything to rant about in today's live stream, you'd be dead wrong, and that's what we're going to talk about in a second. But I appreciate it, Beast. Yeah, I've been working on like lighting and trying to make it look a bit more professional, I think is the right word, right? A little bit more put together. A good lighting makes your videos higher quality. And I think I'm noticing that pretty quickly with just the couple of days. So I got some new lighting, and I think it's going pretty well so far. I'm trying to figure out like the best sort of like light colors. Does that make sense? Like I got one that does like cool, dark, cool, light, medium. But excuse me. We'll figure it out. Is the Red Sea light new? No, that's been here for a while. Basically since I moved into this apartment. And that's from our friends Whitebeard Designs. They stop by once in a while. Check them out on Instagram. They make some great stuff. Get a green screen. I don't really have need for a green screen, to be honest with you. Like I like the sort of, hey, I'm just a fan, right? This is my fan room. I like that kind of background, so I don't think so. I think the Red Sox being good, like consistently good, will help views. Yeah, it did last year. Got to flex the pipes like Robbie. Brother, if I had pipes like Robbie, I don't think I'd wear a shirt one time on stream. I'd be doing hot tub streams, chat. We need a championship so bad the weight's getting unbearable. True. Do you see the Red Sox the only team? Yeah. So this is what we're talking about today. I appreciate that, Beantown, but there's always room to improve. You know what I mean? Everything you do, there's always room to improve. Like I think I look more in focus in this video today. How low is my seat? It's, I don't know, like halfway up. Why? Okay. So we're getting distracted here. Please don't do any streams to the bathtub. I wasn't going to. We were going to talk about, so FanGraphs, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'm sure you guys have seen this. FanGraphs kind of put out so that we know the pitching one, right? We've talked about the pitching one a couple of times in terms of their projections, right? It's not so much predictions, it's projections based on analytical models. But they put out their offensive one recently too, and they kind of put it together and did like a combination of, hey, this is where people are going to be. And they're a little bit wild. And I think, and I think a lot of people have overreacted to it and underreacted to it. So we're just going to break it down, and I'm going to give my thoughts, and I want you guys to listen to me before you go on your tangents, because you guys are going to have tangents too, right? Which is fair, because I think a lot of people have different opinions on this. But I'm very curious as to sort of where you guys are, and I want to just explain where I am. So this is the big one that caused, I would say, a lot of controversy when it comes to sort of conversations online, right? It was when Zips, which is, again, FanGraphs sort of analytical model here. Ed Hand, was it Ed Hand? Yeah, Pod by the River, I think, did an interview with the guy who does these. Good interview if you want to check it out. But they put this out and immediately wildfire, right? Because the Red Sox were projected to be the only team in Major League Baseball without a 20 home run person on their team, right? If we go to I don't know where they go to get these like teams things. I'll be honest. I'm not really great at navigating FanGraphs. Oh, here we go. Zips. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. It's not going to be dreadful. So I think people see this and they go, oh my God, the Red Sox are going to be terrible, right? That's the immediate thought, is you see the projections and you go, oh my God, the Red Sox are going to be terrible. Now, let me explain a little bit here before we go, yeah, they are going to be terrible, right? I think the first thing to remember is that the Red Sox, so here's the thing, right? The Red Sox pivoted this offseason. They messed up the Bregman thing, and they need to be held accountable for messing up the Bregman thing. But they pivoted. The Red Sox pivoted. Red Sox fans did not. And so the conversation that we need to have is not so much whether or not the Red Sox sorry, chat, whether or not the Red Sox are going to be good or not. It's whether or not they're going to meet your specific expectations, right? Because coming into the offseason, this was the Red Sox fault, right? They came in and they said, hey, man, we are going to get a power hitter. We're going to bring back Bregman, and we're going to get a top pitcher. That's quite literally what they said, right? And they didn't do that. They got a top pitcher. They got like a decent power bat, but not like anything crazy and Contreras, and they didn't bring Bregman back. So we sit here and we say, oh my God, the offense is going to be worse. And then you see things like this where it's the Zips and you got people talking about the lack of power in the Red Sox offense. And all of a sudden it snowballs into, good God, the Red Sox are only going to win games 2-1. Well, there are a couple things that have come to mind, in my opinion. It's sort of, I sit here with this and I'm like, well, wait a second here, right? Because first and foremost, there are multiple ways to score runs, right? You don't just have to score runs via the home run ball. And the Red Sox last year proved that pretty well. If you go to 2026, we'll just do home runs by team here. This is the easiest one, I think. All right, 2025. Sorry. So if you look at home runs, right? The Red Sox were dead even. They were a dead average team when it came to home runs last year. But you go to like OPS, where were the Red Sox? They were a top 10 team in OPS. Let's talk about runs scored. They were a top 7 team in runs scored, right? So there are ways that you could score runs without the home run ball. Now, I think the other thing that's getting sort of swept under the rug here is, we don't have a good offense because there's no guy who's going to hit 30-plus home runs. And there's a real reality in which there isn't a guy who hits 30-plus home runs. But what if we have an offense where 4 or 5 guys hit 20 home runs? Right? You look at this list and you say, yeah, they're not projected to get to 20 home runs, but this is just one singular projection. On top of that, you're what? 2, 4, 6 total home runs over a 162 game season from having 3 dudes who have 20 plus home runs. Right off the bat, 3 guys in the middle of the order with 20 plus home runs. You're another 9 home runs away from having 6 of your 9 starters in the big league level hitting 20 home runs, right? And I think you spread out all that conversation. All of a sudden, you're talking about a better offense than what is being talked about on paper, right? And I think the conversation of, hitting home runs and that being the propeller to a World Series has been a bit overblown because of the fact that you haven't been able to get that home run guy, right? I think what's more important than guys who could just simply hit home runs is guys who can hit home runs in the right situations, right? And that doesn't mean I'm not saying that, I'm not excusing the fact the Red Sox didn't get a power bat. But what I think has gone on here is that people have taken the fact that the Red Sox don't have a positive 100% 30-plus home run guy and been like, this offense is going to be terrible. It's not going to be a terrible offense, right? In all reality, it's probably still going to be a top 10 offense in baseball. $2 super chat from Tyler. He says Anthony hits 290 with 30 home runs. That is a big old prediction here. Big old prediction here. I appreciate it. I hope he doesn't, try and put that on himself. I think he could absolutely do that, but I hope he doesn't put that on himself and have a problem with it. Now, here's the other thing I wanted to talk about. $2 super chat from CH before I get into this. Don't sleep on Story. That could be 20 home runs easy. Yeah, he was healthy and he gave you 20 home runs last year. Easy. Right? Easy. Now, the other thing with Zips is something that drives me a little bit crazy is with these projections, people tend to pick and choose which ones they like to believe. Right? People tend to pick and choose because we made a video earlier this offseason that talked about the Zips projection having the Red Sox. Even if we look it up right now, the Zips projection has the Red Sox as the best offense in Major League, or the best pitching staff in Major League Baseball. Everyone goes, nah, no way. Not going to happen. The Red Sox don't have the best pitching staff in Major League Baseball. Right? There's no way. Then this comes out and they go, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense. The Red Sox offense is going to suck. Right? So if you're going to run with these kind of conversations about these Zips projections, you need to either pick, you're fully on board with all of them, or you're fully off board on all of them, right? And I'm kind of fully off board on all of them. I don't believe that the Red Sox are going to have the best pitching staff in baseball. I think they're going to have a really good pitching staff, but having the best pitching staff in baseball is going to be incredibly complicated for the Red Sox to get to, and that's saying that not a lot of other teams are going to take steps forward, right? I also don't think that this home run projection is entirely accurate, right? Again, I just talked about it. 2 guys take a step forward. Abreu hit 22 last year. You don't think on a full-time basis, if he stays healthy, he can't get to 25? I think that's a little bit ridiculous, right? Story, he stays healthy. I think it's an easy 20 home runs. Of the last 4 of the 5 years, Wilson Contreras has gotten to 20 home runs. And he's never played with the monster before. You're telling me that guy's going to hit 17, right? There's so many easy paths to see multiple players in the Red Sox getting to 20-plus home runs. Now, again, this isn't excusing me. This isn't excusing me or excusing the Red Sox not going out and getting a power bat. This is me saying I think people are over-exaggerating how impactful one dude who can hit 30-plus home runs is, right? Because I don't think that changes the rest of this lineup. It's important to realize that the best pitching staff in baseball looks at the top 10 stars WAR, and we have better depth, even if others have a better 5. Yes, I agree with that. I'm not like, this isn't me saying I don't think This isn't me saying, oh, I don't think the Red Sox are going to have a bad pitching staff or anything. I think they're going to be a good pitching staff. I'm just saying it feels like the same people that are saying, no, there's no way the Red Sox are the best pitching staff when it's being projected are the same ones saying, oh, it makes perfect sense the Red Sox lineup is going to be terrible because they're projected to be terrible. That's my point, right? And the other thing, too, is, okay, if you want to believe this, well, then you kind of have to believe this one, too, right? You have to believe this is FanGraphs projection for the standings, right? So if you're good with that projection, okay, so then the Red Sox are going to finish tied in first place, right? Right? Like, okay, so if you believe that the Red Sox are going to stay, in that sort of realm of, 5 guys over 15 home runs, but no one over 20, still get us to 20, still get us to tied for first place, the second best record, or tied for the first best record in the American League. They'd probably give us the first wild card spot, I imagine. Depends on the head-to-head there. Pacoda has this 82 wins. Yeah, I wonder what does Baseball Reference have the Red Sox at? Because FanGraphs has them at 90. Pacoda's always, to be fair, Pacoda's always really down on the Red Sox for some reason. I'm not entirely sure. Where do I go for projections? I usually have these somewhere here. Where would this be? Am I an idiot? Where are these? They usually have these, don't they? Full site menu. Okay. If I just go to the Red Sox page, does it bring it up? Sure doesn't. Weren't towards the bottom of the league in home runs. No, it's literally on the screen right now. They were dead even. There they are right there. Yeah, that's what I kind of mean, versatility. Like they don't really have a lot of teams. Like, I bet the Dodgers are pretty high up there, but they don't have a ton of teams that are like world beaters on those. Is it crazy to say I'd rather have Roman in left than Durant? No. Red Sox fans, the only fans on earth that are going to be like, yeah, our team's going to suck. Meanwhile, we're doing good. I mean, yeah, that's just Red Sox in general. I said that the other day. It's just like, but again, like I've said this before, and we're going to be doing our season recap at some point in the near future here, and kind of grading the Red Sox offseason. And that's going to be a conversation we're going to have where it was about, in my opinion, this offseason was really about the PR of it, right? That's sort of what it ended up boiling down to. Is that you sit there with, the way that Craig Breslow talked about this offseason, the way that, people were talking about this Red Sox offseason versus the way it went, it was a mess. It was a mess, right? I mean, it went from we're getting a power bat, we're bringing back Bregman, we're getting a top pitcher, to, okay, we've got a semi-power bat, a good hitter. Don't get me wrong, a good hitter. I would say even a great hitter in Wilson Contreras. But it wasn't the 30-plus, 40-plus home run guy. And we're bringing back Bregman, and we're getting a starting pitcher, but that starting pitcher is going to be Sonny Gray and Johan Oviedo. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can see how this works well. And then you lose Bregman, and you get Suarez and Durbin. And if you had just not said anything at the beginning of this offseason, just said, look, we're looking to make the team better. We know what the obvious needs are, and we're going to fill those. And he ended up coming into today with Wilson Contreras, Durbin, Ranger Suarez, Sonny Gray, Johan Oviedo. And I think at some point, I think they're going to sign a lefty bullpen arm. We'll see. I don't think it'll be a big name. I think it'll just be someone in there with some veteran experience. If they had said that, Red Sox fans would still be pissed about the Bregman thing, which they should be, and I'm still mad about the Bregman thing, but you'd be looking at this offseason a little bit more optimistically, right? If you were sitting there saying, okay, this must have been their plan all along. We wanted Alonso, we wanted Schwarber, that didn't happen, right? But the Red Sox all along knew they had holes to fill, and this is how they filled them, and we're okay with that. I think the perception would have been a little bit better if they had gone that route, but instead they came in and they said exactly what we were wanting them to say, which was, we're going all in, we're getting these guys, we're getting that guy, we're going to build a juggernaut. And they didn't build a juggernaut. They built a really solid team. And I think that's been the issue, and I think that's why. Yes, I do think that fans would still be upset. That's what I'm kind of saying here very silly, but I think it'd be better received. You know what I mean? What's up, Phil? As a fan who watched the Red Sox 60s, 70s, and 80s, where we had great power hitters, what did that get us? Pitching wins championships. Yeah, I don't disagree. My question is, does Wong have an opening day roster spot? I wouldn't say it's a guarantee, no. I don't think so. But that's my entire point, Korean Kid, is I feel like the conversation surrounding this Red Sox offense has gotten to the point where, because the Red Sox didn't get that second, and if we're being totally honest, Bregman's not like the power bat, right? Bregman would have given you, 20-ish home runs? Like, as much as I love Bregman, and again, he still should have been back on the Boston Red Sox, right? You're talking about 25 home runs. Right, it's not that 30-plus home run guy. He's hit 40 once, and that was back in 2019 and 2018 here. And 2019 was the juice ball era, right? So he's probably, especially at this point in his career, a 25 home run guy. Now that's still, 13 more home runs than Durbin has ever hit in his life, considering he's only played one season. But like, you sit here with this, and because he didn't bring back Alex Bregman, everyone goes, this offense is going to be terrible. And the answer to that question is it's not. Right? It's not going to be terrible. The problem is they're not going to be this sort of juggernaut, beat them down, we're winning games 7-0 offense that I think a lot of people were expecting them to be. And I think that's the issue here. But the problem I have with it is that you're completely taking this team that's really, really solid on paper offensively, and you're turning into a pile of mush just because they didn't get that bat, right? Just because they didn't get that bat doesn't mean they're a bad offense. It just doesn't put them into that sort of upper echelon we were hoping for. I mean, and to be honest with you, home runs, as much as, yes, they do mean a lot, and don't get me wrong, I would have loved to see the Red Sox score a bunch of home runs. It's not everything, right? I mean, the Orioles were a top 11 team. They didn't make the postseason. The Angels were the 4th highest home run hitting team in baseball. They didn't make the postseason, right? But then you could also say, well, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mariners, the Mets, the Cubs, Diamondbacks didn't make it. The Phillies and the Tigers, they all made the postseason, right? So obviously, yes, it helps when you hit a bunch of home runs, but you were also 12 home runs away from being the 10th highest hitting home run team in baseball. And if you had a healthy Bregman, you probably hit that number. Right? So, yes. So, yeah, I get it. I get it, right? But I also, at the same point, it's like we can't take projections. We can't take, the Red Sox missing one guy and say the entire team's going to stink. Because if Bregman was the addition that would have made you like a world-beating offense, then you were pretty damn close to a world-beating offense already, Like, if we're being totally honest here. They have 4 guys that can bomb at any time, plus 15, 20 home run guys like Rafael and Duran. Plus, they're going to put the ball in play a lot more. Yeah, I think putting the ball in play a lot more is going to be a bigger part of this year's game. I also think, like for as much as this is the one thing I will say about these projections that, it does. It feels like people think the sky is falling coming into this season. I just don't think, and it's not like it's just like Red Sox fans. It's like Red Sox analysts too. Like Julian McWilliams, who works for the Mets now, I think, tweeted out that like Pete Fatsi is going to have to work miracles this season. It's like, no, not really, but you're going to have to see people take steps forward, right? And the Red Sox are banking on people taking steps forward. Now that's a risk, but at the same time too, it's a natural sort of, okay, that kind of makes sense, right? I mean, say Don's now going to have 2 full years under his belt. Willier's going to have 2 full years under his belt. These are guys that could take legitimate steps forward. You talk about Duran, and last year it was tough, right? It was tough because he went through stretches where he was what he was in 24, and then he went through stretches where he just simply wasn't that consistent bat. If he takes a little bit of the stress off of him by maybe he's DHing a little bit more, maybe there's a little bit of a platoon. I wouldn't say a full platoon, but a little bit of a platoon going on there with Duran. Does he get back to sort of where he was in 25, right? And so you've got these three guys where you sit there and you're like, okay. And then, of course, you've got the more interesting ones, right? The Roman Anthonys, the Marcelo Myers, the Durbins, the Carlos Narvaez's, the Ken Wilson Contreras, right? And so with this offense, I just don't get the panic over this offense. Like, I understand the concerns about it, right? And I have my concerns about it, and I think everyone has their concerns about it. But to sit here and say that you're full panicking about the Red Sox not being able to score runs, I just can't argue with it, right? Because I just don't understand that point of view of the Red Sox not being able to score runs. I think you're listening on Twitter too much. Nah, dude. Why don't you scroll through my comment section there, Bobby? It's not just Twitter. It's a lot of ifs. Oh, no, again, I'm not sitting here saying there's not concerns about this offense, right? And I'm also not sitting here saying that this isn't a risk by the Boston Red Sox. It is a risk. And I've said that before in videos. I've said that before in live streams. We've had conversations about it multiple times as to sort of the risks behind going through this pivot by the Boston Red Sox. I think is the best way to put it here. But that also doesn't mean it can't work out, right? And I feel like we're immediately assuming that everything's going to go wrong. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to go fully wrong. Are we a better team than we were last year? Yeah. I personally, I think yes. I think you're a better team than you were last year. Now, that's not to say I think you're a better team on paper than you were at the beginning of last year. I think you are potentially Alex Cora said it really well. He said they're a more complete team. I think that's the right way to put it, right? I think you have legitimately, arguably really good potential stars in your offense. You have a certifiable stud rotation. I think you can look at the bullpen and you could say there is legitimate, you could say there are concerns, but I also think you could say there are legitimate things that, are kind of solidified that weren't solidified coming in. Coming into the season last year, you didn't have a closer, right? You had Chapman, but coming into the season, he was supposed to be sort of a late leverage inning guy. Your closer coming into the season, by most accounts, was supposed to be Liam Hendricks, right? And look at how that worked out. Now you've got a solidified closer. Now you have a solidified setup, man. And the rest of the bullpen, you have the best bullpen ERA in the AL, right? And I understand that guys have come and gone here. And I understand that there are some holes for sure, especially from the left-hand side. But you could sit there and you could say, okay, you've got certifiable studs on the pitching side thing, I think, wherever you look. Offensively, you've got these studs. You just need to see them take a step forward. And again, that's a risk. But, yeah, if that happens, you're a more complete team than you were last season. Does that make sense? Who's the biggest challenge for the Sox this season team-wise? What do you mean? Like other team? No, I don't think you're the only one who is giving up on Casas. I think Casas could still be competitive for sure. I just think the Red Sox need to be careful with them. What's up, Starman? Jays or Dodgers, pick one. The Dodgers for sure. Dude, the Blue Jays aren't gonna be as good as they were last year. What's up, Awesome Hot Dog? Like the Blue Jays were, they don't have Bo Bichette. George, how old is George Springer? Is he 36 or is he 35 years old? How old is George Springer? Yeah, he's 36 years old. Like, is he going to be able to, is he going to be able to replicate this season at 36? Is he going to be able to do that? I also think, the Blue Jays have gotten better rotationally, but their offense has taken a significant step back. I mean, you lost Bo Bichette. You didn't sign Kyle Tucker. You did get Okamoto, who I love. But he's as much of a mystery as a lot of the Red Sox players are too, you know? But yeah, we could sit here and say that the Red Sox have a lot of question marks, but we do have IKF. That is true. That is true. That's a big hit. The Yankees they have flat out ran their team back. They said, look, last year was a fluke. We're running it back this year. We're going to be better. And they might be, because they've got Garrett Cole in the rotation now, and they didn't have him last year, and that's going to be a bit of it. Like the Yankees rotation may be pretty good, but is it a hot take to say Caleb Durbin is the Durant of the infield? Yeah, because I don't really understand that. Like the Yankees may be better. They may be exactly the same, and the Red Sox, I think, did get better. Think teams sleeping on the Rays? I don't think teams are. I think I am. You know what I mean? I'm sleeping on the Rays. You think Cole will be out a month or two? I mean, regardless, they're still going to have him at some point this season. Yeah, the depth, I think, that's a good way to put it, Michael. I think the depth on the Red Sox is probably their biggest strength, right? Like yeah, their offense is going to be, or their defense, their pitching is going to be the strength of this team. But even if someone in the pitching falters, you've got options to come back on them. Are we concerned about the Romy injury? I am slightly concerned about it. The fact that it's been bothering him for, like October, November, December, January, 5 months now, 5 months is definitely a concern for sure. Who's my favorite to win the AL? I mean the Red Sox, right? The Red Sox fan of me is going to say the Red Sox. But if I'm sort of looking at it, I think kind of sneakily, I think you could see the Mariners as one of those teams. Like the Brendan Donovan addition, bringing back Josh Naylor with the rotation that they have. Julio Rodriguez really kind of came into his own last year. Like they're a scary team on paper for sure. Detroit with Framber Valdez, I could see it a bit. But again, like the Red Sox, the Tigers are in a situation where a lot of their guys need to take significant steps forward as well. So I don't know. If I'd put Detroit up there, I think the Mariners would probably be my number one. The thing is, I don't really have what the heck do we do with Triston Campbell? Actually, I spent about 8 minutes talking about that today in today's video. The Red Sox kind of laid it out for us. It's still unclear. Genuinely unclear what the Red Sox are going to do with Triston Campbell. And there were probably 10 minutes worth of quotes from Alice Cora, and it did not. It legitimately did not come to any sort of conclusion. We were sitting here for 8 minutes and we talked about Triston Campbell the entire time. And I ended it by being I got no idea. First game of the season for us. Give me my baseball. Yeah, dude. I just the World Baseball Classic is going to be nice because we actually have something to talk about. But anyways, I bet y'all didn't think I was going to find a way to rant in the middle of February, the first day of spring training, but I did. I figured it out. And my rant is concluded by me saying that I think people have taken the idea of the Red Sox not being able to hit home runs and ran to the point where they think this Red Sox offense is going to be bad. I don't think this Red Sox offense is going to be bad. I just don't think it's going to be the offense that we wanted it to be coming into the year. Is that the real Tyler Milliken? What's up, brother? Red Sox who spend, hey Corbin, who spends $400 million and no one's scared of them? Oh, we talking about the Yankees now? Speaking of Campbell, in your personal opinion of if the D-backs came to you right now and said Tolley or Early and Campbell for Marte, I'm doing it before I can hang up the phone. You know what I mean? I'm doing that so fast. I mean, the Diamondbacks, so we heard the Diamondbacks wanted, so the Red Sox offered one of Tolley or Early and Arias, I believe. Was Duran in there as well, Chad? I don't think he was. And the Diamondbacks countered, and they said, hey, man, we want Tolio early, and we want Marcelo Meyer. And the Red Sox said, no, we're good. And that's kind of where things ended. If they come to us and say, yeah, how about Triston Campbell, a guy who you don't really have a position for right now, a guy who probably has all the potential in the world to be a legitimate everyday player, but the Red Sox don't really have a spot for him. Yeah, I think you do it, right? The problem is you just acquired Durbin, right? So where do you put Durbin, right? Does Durbin end up in AAA until you can figure it out? Maybe platoons with Marcelo Meyer. It doesn't matter because it's not going to happen. But who's getting traded the All-Star break? I have no idea. I don't know. I think they would want Duran given Carroll being out. Yeah, that'd probably be I wonder if the Red Sox like picked up the phone a bit and was like, "Hey man, remember when we were talking earlier in this season? Yeah, that's still cool, but we'll throw in Duran." Durbin said in his interview that he could bench press 450 pounds. That's like 180. What's 180 times 3? Am I an idiot? That's like 1 1/3. That's like 1 1/3 of me. There's no way he can bench 450. Who am I rooting for in the WBC? Venezuela is my team this year, Chad. I'm going all in on Venezuela. What's Durbin's contract looking like? He's still under rookie. So he's got, what, 5 years left to control? Thank you, Jack. Not USA? No. I'm Venezuela this year. Is there anyone who is on their last year of their contract? That'd be my first guess. I mean, Chapman, right? Does he have a... No. He's got a... What is it called? Not a mutual option. Someone help me here. Tony Hawk's pro skater math. True, I probably should have remembered that. Oh, yeah, 2 180s is 360. What am I doing? Story's not. Vesting, thank you. He's got a vesting option. Thank you, 27. My friend Nick, by the way. Hey, if you guys are looking for spring training footage, Nick, are you putting that up on this channel, the 27? What's up, Eli? Do I miss Ref Snyder? Yeah, I'm gonna miss Ref Snyder. Mostly because I love Ref Snyder. But also, like, that's a veteran guy who you knew what you were gonna get. And I like that. I liked having that on the bench. If someone's got to step into that role. And I think they do have the players that can step into that role. But yeah, I think right now I do miss him. It'll be up here. Okay, guys, if you're looking for, in my opinion, the best coverage in terms of just straight video footage from spring training, 27th ball player is the place to go. This team needs offense. The team with the best CRAs last season missed the playoffs. They had 0 players projected. That's just sad. All right, so we're gonna go through the rant again, are we? I feel like we're gonna hit this rant a couple of times. Here's the problem with that conversation, Gary. First and foremost, so the Milwaukee Brewers made the postseason, the Padres made the postseason, the Guardians made the postseason, the Red Sox made the postseason. So 4 of the top 5 pitching teams in Major League Baseball made the postseason. The one team that didn't was the Texas Rangers. Now, here's the difference there, Gary. If you go to OPS here, right, let's just have a conversation about it. Where were the Texas Rangers? There they are. The 26th worst team in baseball in terms of OPS. Where are the Red Sox? That's a good question. Red Sox were all the way up here. Now, you really genuinely think, that the Boston Red Sox, over the course of this offseason, Gary, have gone from the 9th best OPS team in baseball to the 26th best OPS team in baseball? You think there are, how many teams is that? 17 teams who've gotten noticeably better than the Boston Red Sox this offseason? Have I met Milliken? Yeah. Yes, I met Tyler at Worcester 2 years ago. Yeah, of course, man. You put out the best footage. We'll be using it here on Red Seat, so keep an eye out for that, guys. If you see any spring training footage, that's the channel to go to. Do we need Rob? We got IKF. True. I forgot about that. You want a positive? Yes. We now have the number 3 Rookie of the Year players in both leagues last season, Anthony and Durbin. Ooh. Look at that, chat. Look at that. How good would this lineup be with Roman, Bregman, Devers, Alonso, Wilyer, Abreu, Story, Bogarts, Narvaez, Cedon? I mean, probably one of the best in baseball. Home runs don't make an offense, putting the ball in play, moving runners along. Yeah, I get that point, Michael. I mean, home runs are important, right? And I'm not going to sit here and try and argue that this team doesn't need to hit home runs. The argument I'm going to make is that even if this team goes from, let's say, so last year, again, we'll go back to this, right? Last year, they had 186 home runs. Like, I think that's feasible for the Red Sox to hit again. Again, there's a real chance that there are 4 or 5 guys on your team on an everyday basis who have 20, right? That's already 100 home runs. You can't make up 86 between the other guys. And the guys who aren't going to be able to hit 20 home runs, you got a couple guys who are going to get close, right? I think, say, Don will probably be 15-ish. I think the combination of Marcelo Meyer and Romy Gonzalez could actually be over 20, but between the two of them, will probably be in that like 10 to 15-ish range, right? Like, you sit here and it's like, okay, yeah, you could see. I could see Wilyer Abreu hitting 30. I don't think anyone would be surprised if Roman hit 30. Now, personally, I'm not projecting him to hit 30 home runs, right? And I'm not some mathematician, as you guys love to point out every time. But, this is just sort of based on what we saw in terms of the, StatCast data, especially once he got settled into Major League Baseball, especially when he started hitting home runs in Major League Baseball. It was like all of a sudden he had figured out the bat path, right? Took him a couple of months. And he figured out the bat path. Can't find the 27. Nick, are you still here? What's your YouTube channel? I thought it was the 27th ball player. $2 super chat from Bay Sox Bombs. Bold prediction, Narvaez hits 15 or more home runs. First and foremost, thank you for your $2 super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, I love that too, Bobby. I saw that. I think that's big, actually. He hit 15 home runs last year. I could 100% see him doing that this year. The cool thing, I don't know if you guys saw the article that came out by, so many people are releasing spring training articles right now. I think it was Christopher Smith. I don't want to give someone credit or forget to give someone credit. I think it was Christopher Smith. It's just, all right, Bobby, it's just Nick John on YouTube. Sorry about that, man. I didn't realize. All right, so Nick John, if you guys are looking for spring training coverage. Anyways, Corbin, the elementary school mathematicians expert. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, right? I don't even say mathematics correctly. I get what you're saying, Eric. But anyways, if you guys didn't see the article that came out, I thought it was Christopher Smith. It might have been Gabrielle Starr, too. One of the two of those people. Regardless, they talked about, hey, he got injured. I believe it was June 8th. If you look at sort of the game logs from June 8th on, it was like, if he stays healthy, all of a sudden he's a great player. Maybe it was July 8th. I'm going to go July 8th on. Yeah, so he gets injured right about here, right? And you look at the statistics, and it's like, 189, 236 was a 632 OPS. He battled all this way, by the way, through injury, just because he thought the Red Sox had a chance of making the postseason. Dog. But you look before that and you say, okay, what does he look like if he stays healthy? And again, it's tough to sit here and say, oh, he's gonna stay healthy, because realistically, not everybody's going to stay healthy. But it's tough for me to sit here and say that someone's immediately going to get injured. I mean, the dude hit 276 with a 787 OPS at 7 home runs, right? Narvaez stays healthy. I don't think he'll ever maybe he doesn't get back to that point, but he gets to 15, even if he ends up sort of in this range, right? Where it's, 15 home runs. He's a league average hitter, but it's more consistent throughout the year. That's a huge boost to this lineup, right? I think one thing that the Red Sox are missing right now, or Red Sox fans are missing right now, is how deep this lineup has the potential to be. Today he said that no pain is going to take him away from the field if the team needs him. Yeah, dude, Carlos Narvaez might be low-key my favorite player on the team right now. Could please talk Cedon? I think he's going to take a big step this year as a hitter. You have a master's in debating? Oh, here we go. So Cedon is a guy that, again, when we have this conversation of who are guys that could step forward, I always say Cedon. And the reason I say Cedon is because we look at this and it goes, Okay, so rookie year was 28 games, right? Or I guess, would this technically be rookie year? I don't know. $20 super chat before we get into this, though. $20 super chat from Versatility. Thank you so much, Versatility. He says, the one thing that worries me about Durbin is everyone says he pulls the ball well in the air, and he hit 11 home runs. But if you look at StatCast, he would have only hit 5 at Fenway. And if you look at the home runs, only 2 were over 93 miles an hour. Yeah, I think Versatility, first and foremost, $20 is way, way, way too generous for this question. $2 would have worked, but I appreciate it nonetheless, man. Unbelievably generous of you. Thank you. Is Durbin a fast runner? Yeah, he stole 20-ish bags last year. Might have been 19, but yeah, he can move a bit. Yeah, I think with Durbin, like I said it kind of in my video too. I don't think it's so much the that he's the perfect player and that this is exactly who the Red Sox were missing. I think with Durbin, my conversation I have with it. Oh, look at that. They put it over Fenway. The conversation I always kind of have with it is this is a guy who could develop into the exact player that we're looking for, right? And I think that's the conversation that the Red Sox had with it too, right? Is you have something to build on concretely here. And I think, yeah, if you just look at last season, you go, what is this going to mean for the Red Sox? I understand what you're saying, right? They're 100% concerned. But the thing that you also have to remember is that with this guy, the goal is to continue to take steps forward, right? And yes, I understand it's a risk. Yes, I understand all that. But if he is able to take that step forward, what does that look like, right? Right, and they didn't give up much to get him. Yeah, expected home runs tell me how many. All right, expected home runs tells how many of this player's batted balls would have been out in other stadiums. The adjusted view here accounts for different wall heights, distances, and environmental effects using StatCast factor data. I am interested to see, like, okay, so if we're just looking at the spray chart, right? Let's just look at the spray chart, not the expected home runs here, Versatility. If he's able to pull the ball a little bit more in the air, a little bit more. What's up, Mary? A little bit more, right? And I'm not saying he's going to do 20 to 30, but let's say he pulls it a little bit more. Are these home runs or are these still doubles, right? Is this a home run or is this still a double? Is this a home run or is this still a double, right? And I've never been, and even when I talked about this in the video, right, I was like, maximum this guy gets to over the next 2 years is maybe 15 or 16 home runs, right? But even if he's and you just said it too perfectly, even if he's a 10 home run guy, but he hits you, how many doubles did he have last year? I wish they had expected doubles. I wish they had an expected double stat on Baseball Savant. So he hit 25 doubles last year. Let's say at 81 games at Fenway, that goes up to 35 with 11 home runs, right? That probably increases the RBIs here. That definitely increases the slug here. That definitely increases the OPS here. And I think what you're looking at is a guy who doesn't strike out, who hits a ton of doubles, and who can lift the ball once in a while. And like, that's a good offensive player, right? That's a bottom middle of the order offensive player. Right. Versatility. Yeah. But my question is, okay, if they work with him, right? And this was a conversation that Breslow had pretty immediately on when they got Durbin is, hey, we think he can, with the pull ball data, we think he can lift the ball even more. That was my point. So like these that would have hit off the wall last year, this year, are they going to be able to get over the wall a little bit, right? And again, I'm not looking for the Red Sox to turn this guy into prime Barry Bonds, right? But if they can get him to 13 or 14 home runs, like that's, again, I personally think he's going to be second base. I think that's the best spot for him. That's a really good second baseman, right? If you can give me like 30, 35 doubles and 12 to 15 home runs, like, you're taking that every day, right? That's a good middle of the order bat. Not middle of the order, but potentially top or kind of like, oh, God, here we go, 6th or 7th in the order. You know what I mean? Coulomb or Wilson? I'm taking Coulomb, I think. Coulomb. Is that not how you spell it? Hey, it's right there. I think I'm taking Coulomb. About the same age, which I didn't really realize. Hey, Corbin, what's up, Derp? Hey, thank you so much for watching, man. I appreciate you being here. What are my thoughts on our bullpen and Kyle Keller, maybe his impact? So I talked a little bit about Kyle Keller when the Red Sox signed him. Interesting name, right? Interesting name. It's going to come down to, in my opinion, with Keller, is can he keep the ball in the ballpark, right? He's always going to walk people. That's just sort of what he does. Can he keep the ball in the ballpark? If he can do that, I think you're talking about a legitimate potential. I knew that was coming. Option for the Boston Red Sox. If he can't, then I don't know that he's, and I think that's the reason why he signed into a minor league deal. Thoughts on the overall bullpen? I think coming into the year, you're in a really interesting spot with the bullpen. If you go and you get a Coulomb or you bring back Justin Wilson, I really think you're going to be in a good spot. If you don't, you're still in a really interesting spot, right? Because I think for the most part, what you've done here is you've brought together a little bit of an established bullpen, right? You know who your lefty, you know who your closer is going to be, you know who your setup's going to be. You've got guys like Weiser and Slayton, who I think a lot of people would trust in these sort of medium leverage roles. It really just comes down to whether or not I'm reading the message. Sorry. It comes down to whether or not you can establish another lefty, right? And I think that's ultimately the plan here, right? You got to establish somebody, especially after you traded Harrison and Drohan. My guess is that right now it'd probably be Sandoval, right? $10 super chat from Beast. This is the reason I was laughing. Corbin said 6'7". Do the hand gesture. Thank you for your $10 super chat. I'm curious what we do. No love for Seti. Did I not just go on a rant about how good Cedon could be? What are they going to do with Patrick Sandoval? I'd imagine right now you have to put him in the bullpen. He has to be. Right? You can't put him in the rotation because your rotation's already kind of built up. Oh, I super chatted and went to Durbin. All right. We'll talk about Seti in a second then. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Your rotation's kind of already built, right? The two, in my opinion, that is going to end up being sort of the battle here is between Conley Early and Peyton Tolley. Can they do enough this spring training to propel themselves into a legitimate rotational spot to start the year here? Right? Like, can they make enough of an impact to get into that conversation? I don't know. Right? But outside of that, it's going to be Crochet. It's going to be Suarez. It's going to be Gray. It's going to be Bayo. And it's most likely going to be Oviedo. So if you've got all those guys in there, unless you're planning on going a sixth man, Cutter and Sandoval kind of have to be in the bullpen. And once you put Sandoval in the bullpen, well, now you've got a legitimate established lefty that you can go to. The other person is Giovanni Moran. I'm interested to see how he does in Puerto Rico. I think he ended up getting cleared. There were some things about the insurance, but I think he got it. Perfect world, Early and Tully both start in AAA. That implies health in the rotation. That's why I want more than them in the majors. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, content. I do. I think you're in a really good spot if both Early and Tully are in AAA. But I also, part of me hopes that they pitch so well enough that they just have to be the major league rotation. They go with 6 guys, one of them. That'd be cool. Do we ever get a lefty in the bullpen? No lefty yet. That's why we were just talking about Coulomb. Again, that's kind of why I'm holding off on doing my spring or my off-season grades. We'll probably do them at some point, but yeah, that's why I'm curious to see what Moran looks like. Giovanni wasn't, he didn't really pitch a lot at the major league level, so it's not like I can sit here and be like, oh, Jabba Chamberlain, that's a name, chat. Right, you got 2 games in major league. It wasn't good, but you got 2 games in major league level. So it's tough for me to sit here and be like, "Oh, this guy ain't gonna be nothing." You know what I mean? Crazy, we never signed a significant bullpen arm. I think there's still time to sign somebody. Like Justin Wilson wasn't a significant arm last year. I think he's a significant arm this year. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like a big name. It just has to be somebody that they think they can actually get to that point. Why not sign Bonda? Because you'd have to trade for him. The Dodgers are going to trade him, and it's going to cost a pretty decent amount here. New hit single, 7 aces, yeah. Whoever doesn't earn a starting pitching job takes buses for 2 months to start the year. Yeah, kind of. Thought they released him. Yeah, they DFA'd him, which means they have a week to trade him. And they're definitively going to trade him. What is even left on the market? To be honest with you, it's either going to be Coolum or it's going to be bring back Justin Wilson. Too many starters trying to be relievers. It's an interesting conversation, Eric. I don't know about too many starters trying to become relievers. You know, like Crawford, I wouldn't put into that category just because I think he has honestly more experience as a relieving arm than he does as a starter. It's close, right? But he definitely has more years-wise experience as a, well, maybe not. But he definitely has a decent enough experience as a reliever that I don't think this is like a new role for him. Patrick Sandoval would really be the only guy, in my opinion, that you'd be like, all right, Content. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here, man. Sandoval is the only one that's really like, hey, this is a true, like, he's been a starter basically his entire career here. Now he's going to the bullpen type guy. They're definitely going to try and move Sandoval if he has a good spring. I don't know. I've seen that a lot. I've seen that a lot. I don't know that they're going to definitively try and move him. I think if the right deal comes along, they absolutely will. But like with such a lack of left-handed pitching on your team right now, in terms of the bullpen, you've got a ton of it in the rotation, obviously. But in terms of the bullpen, with a lack of it, you know, if they're sitting there and they're like, we're kind of comfortable with Sandoval in the bullpen, like do you sit there and say, nah, there's no way? What's up, Joey? That we trade him? I don't know. Pick a member for 5 months in a row. Can we get some claps to chat for Pick? Thank you so much, man. That you move him for, yeah, I could see that. But that's what I mean, right? Unless they get a deal that's like, oh, yeah, this makes perfect sense. I don't know that they move him anymore. I think before you traded Harrison and Drohan, yeah, you moved them, right? For anything. But you watch my lives, hot dog, brother. We gotta teach you how to multitask. When's the next member stream? Our last one was the end of January. I was kind of hoping. When's the first more backup catchers? Do we have enough back? I'll talk about it in a second, Lawson. We have enough backup catchers, I think, for the next year. I was trying to figure out what to do for the members only stream this month. And part of me wants to like push it off as far as I can to see if we can get either preliminary WBC stuff or maybe like the Northeastern game together. We'll figure it out, but it's going to be in a couple of months, or it's going to be at least, I would say if it's not, it's going to be next week, you know, just too hyped for the Red Sox. Let's go, dude. Yeah. I'm excited about this season too. I am genuinely excited about the 2026 Boston Red Sox. I think they're going to be a good team. Supposed to be trivia. Oh, that is true. Trivia. Versatility with 10 gifted subscribers, man. My Lord. Thank you so much. That's incredible. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me, man. Thank you. If you guys received one and you're here, make sure you guys say thank you to Versatility. And if you guys don't know, you have to turn on gifted memberships, by the way. Like you can't just get one. It has to be on and you have to be able to receive them. So if you were looking for one and didn't, that might be why too. But thank you so much. Versatility, what's going on today, man? Thank you. Too kind. The other thing I wanted to do in this live stream, by the way, was just give a quick spring training update. There isn't anything crazy. Obviously, this being the first day of spring training, there's not really much. I did want to show you guys the first pictures of like all the new guys in their uniforms. I always think that's kind of cool. But if you guys don't care about that, I won't have to. Ryan Watson. My opinion on Ryan Watson is he either works out or the Red Sox send him back, right? Like, I'm not like... I will say one guy who was super high on Ryan Watson was Mikey Romero. He said he really liked Ryan Watson. Is this the right guy? This doesn't look like the right guy. This looks like the right guy. Mikey Romero says this guy's a stud. He really liked him. It'll be interesting to see what the Red Sox do with this guy at the major league level. I mean, he wasn't great last year, right? It was a 4.26 ERA. It was a 1.461 WHIP. Looks like it was just strictly because he couldn't get guys. Well, actually, you could get guys out. He just let up a lot of hits. Corbin arrives at JetBlue Stadium demanding a press pass. Dude, I can't afford to go down to JetBlue. Is Campbell back, or do I need to watch your last video to find out? See, the businessman in me should say you got to go watch the video, but I'll just tell you, yeah, Triston Campbell, we talked, and I'll say this again, Pick. We talked, I don't know, it must have been 8 full minutes on Triston Campbell. I don't think anyone really still knows, you know? I really don't. The only thing we know now is that he will 100% be in the outfield, which is interesting. Corbin, will you be my agent when I get to MLB? Yes. I would love to be your agent, dude. 36 months. Let's do the math, chat. That is 2 or 3 full years as a member of Red Sea Radio. Thank you so much, Mike. Oh, my God. 3 full years? Do you want half moons? Mike, what's funny is that you sent half moons in 24 and the Red Sox weren't very good. And then you forgot to in 25 and they were good. So I'm thinking we might not. I think it's bad luck to get me half moons. I think we may bite the bullet and release Yoshida. I just to me, the right answer is probably yes, right? As much as I like Yoshida, as much as I still think Yoshida can be a legitimate option for this Red Sox team, I don't know how he fits on the roster. I just don't, right? They need to get Duran, Roman, Cedon, and Willier almost everyday ABs, right? Those guys are going to be better. I don't know about better than Masaki Yoshida, but Cedon needs to play defense. Willier needs to hit against both sides. He's going to be your home run bat. Roman's supposed to be the centerfold of your offense. And Jaron Duran, he's supposed to be a major part of this too. And on top of that, even if you want to platoon him, you can't platoon him with Massa. He was worse against lefties, right? So where do you play him? You know what I mean? You're gonna need that spot for one of those guys in the outfield. Again, if they were going to do that, you would think at this point they would have done it. You know? I need Roman to hit 30 home runs. No, they don't need him to. They need him to hit 15 or 20. I think they're hoping Massa is a big WBC and move him for whatever they can. Yeah, but does the WBC mean enough where teams are like, okay, we're going to be good? We want this guy? Because we didn't get that back, Corbin. Nah, so Shin, I went through a whole rant about this at the beginning of this stream. I think what's happened is that Red Sox fans, because the Red Sox didn't get that big bat that they wanted, everyone's like, oh, this offense is going to be terrible. It's not going to be terrible. In my opinion, it'll still be a top 10 offense in baseball. It helps in free agency, maybe the same for trading. Does it help in free agency? What's a player that did really well in the WBC and then sign a big contract? Guys like Imanaga and Yuli Gurriel won't be MLBers without the WBC. Wouldn't Imanaga? You think? I think Imanaga still would have been. I don't even remember Yuli Gurriel doing it. Kind of middling right now, but maybe they're more middling in terms of their OPS, but in terms of runs scored, if they're a top, okay, let me ask you this. If they are a top 10 team in runs scored and a top 5 team in pitching, but have the 14th best OPS in baseball, is that still a competitive potential World Series team? My opinion, yeah. Here's what I said at the beginning too. Would I have appreciated a guy who can hit 30 plus home runs? Yes. Right? 100%, yes. Do I think that home runs are the difference between a World Series and not? No, right? I think ultimately timely home runs are. And that's going to be the difference for the Red Sox. If they could find guys who are going to be able to hit in big moments, I think they're going to be perfectly fine. Have I seen Tully's curveball? That thing is nasty. Yeah, I saw him throw a bullpen this offseason. His off-speed stuff looks like it's coming along really nicely. 2026 Duran's going to be a beast. I hope so. I just don't know how he gets. I don't know how he gets 160 games this year. Do I think Roman Anthony breaks out this year? I think Roman Anthony. Do I think he breaks out? Do I think he breaks out? I think for a lot of people, Roman is what we expected him to be. Does that make sense? Like I don't know that Roman's going to be an MVP candidate just yet this year. I think he has the potential to be an all-star. But like, what if he hits 20 home runs? I totally agree, versatility. I'm not arguing that at all. I think it's, maybe he gets to 20 home runs. Maybe it's about 270. I think we're chilling. You know what I mean? I totally agree with that versatility. But my point is, if this team finds a knack for being able to hit in big moments, are we going to miss the 3-run home runs? I don't know. And we'll see, right? Would I let Roman Anthony hit? Yeah, I'd let Roman Anthony hit regardless. It would be fun if the baseball team that has the MVP of the WBC should get a first rounder. That'd be kind of cool, yeah. Oh, Dale. All right, Dale. See, I'm thinking baseball, dude. Got to remember, Imanaga only got 4 years, $52 million on the heels of pitching for the WBC final. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah, I did get got. I don't love I don't love Anthony as our leadoff hitter either. Actually, I would prefer Roman in the 2 or even the 4 spot. I think a Rick Porcelain. Most people might disagree, but I would put my faith in Duran over Abreu. Yeah, I'm gonna disagree. I think I'm gonna disagree with that. As much as I love Duran, I think Duran might end up being maybe a higher WAR player, but I think in terms of offensive player, I think Willie Abreu has the potential to be better against lefties, which is a huge thing, right? I think his on base ability's got to put him in the leadoff. My moderator, Jess. Been here for 25 months, 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out, Jess, everybody. My fiance. Duran is the better stats currently. True. Actually, you know what? Everyone say hi to my fiance. I agree. Abreu over Duran. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say like Abreu's going to be the better player. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Hi, Roman. I wish. Has anybody checked in with Money Mac Madness since the Amy trade? Mike's in here. He's actually, I thought Mike was going to take it harder. He was actually all right with it. Duran could be an effective leadoff. Hi, Finance. I wondered. Yeah, my fiance's a mod. So Durbin doesn't. So this is what's interesting. Durbin doesn't walk a lot. He doesn't strike out a lot. He doesn't walk a lot. The on base percentage isn't crazy, right? But the problem with the conversation about Roman at leadoff is like who is the leadoff guy? Who's that high contact player? Who's the guy that platoon Durbin and Duran in leadoff? Yeah, he did get hit with 24 pitches. So, I mean, you combine the two of those, right? Is there an HBP right here? No, there isn't. Why isn't there a hit by pitch anywhere? Am I crazy? Oh, there they are. I mean, he led the NL. That's kind of funny. So, he 64 technically free passes last year, including these. Like, it's an interesting conversation, right? Because if it's not a Roman Anthony, who's the guy that's leading off? Like, do you go Duran? I'm curious what were Duran's stats as, because I remember him when he like got bumped to third. Remember that after after Bregman went down, they were like, "Hey Duran, you want to try hitting for power?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I can hit for power," and it ended up being pretty good. Like, we're actually going to talk about, I think we're going to talk about the lineup tomorrow because Chris Cotillo put out an article about the potential leadoffs. Like he talked to Core about this a bit. So I think we're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow, but I do want to look at, am I missing lineup, leverage, clutch stats? It usually says place in the lineup. Oh, batting order positions. What up, Gerbil? Like he was fine as a leadoff. Like he was mostly the leadoff guy. And to sit here and be like 25 games, this is an indication that Jaren Rand's going to be a dog. But like, if we're being honest, 25 games, the dude hit 5 less home runs than he did 108 games in the leadoff spot. Like if we throw him in the third spot and say, "Hey brother, swing for the fences," is he going to be a little bit better? I mean, he almost had half the amount of walks as he did in third, and he did first. And again, it was 25 games versus 108. When is Casas back? They don't really have a timetable on him right now. I'll talk about that tomorrow too, actually, a little bit. Do I think Campbell will make the opening day roster? I said in my video today, Campbell's got a unique opportunity, right? Because say Don's in the WBC, Willier playing for my Venezuela. Duran's playing for Mexico. Roman might actually play for the USA. Something to pay attention to. I kind of low-key hope that Roman Anthony doesn't play in the WBC. I just feel like there's a lot coming into his second season that he needs to like really hammer down to be the sort of basically middle of the order here, right? Best bat the Red Sox have. I don't love that he would be in the like Devers last year or last WBC was fine because he'd already established himself. You know, it just makes me worried here a little bit. I would be cool with him being there because I think seeing Roman Anthony hit like a walk-off or a big home run for Team USA. Also, I already bought a Willier Abreu and Cedon Rafaela jersey. I can't afford a Roman Anthony one. Like, that's another reason I'm hoping he doesn't, because I might have to get one of those. Am I going to watch all the WBC games? Not all of them, because a lot of them are going to be streamed at weird times. But like the primetime ones, yeah, I'll watch. How do you feel about Durbin? I like Durbin a lot. Is it crazy to think Casas won't be ready until May or June? No, I don't think that's crazy. I think June would be a little bit crazy. I think May is very reasonable. Like end of May, early June, I think is incredibly reasonable. Yeah, so Casas will start the year on a rehab assignment, then I think he gets optioned. I think versatility. They might honestly just throw him in an option right away. 16 months from Dynamark, still waiting on the Red Seat fan meetup. Thank you for reminding me. I have an email to send out about that. I am going to do one this year. We are going to do a watch party near Fenway this season. I've decided myself. Too many people have asked. And even if there's only like 10 people who show up, We're doing one. So I'm going to write that down so I remember it. Where'd my pen go? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. I've got that written down. We're good. $5 super chat from Carl. As a huge Dustin Pedroia fan, I heard a lot about the comparison to Caleb Durbin. He is small, quick, good bat, and great defense. Do I see it? Yeah, I mean, it's tough. The problem is any short player who plays for the Red Sox is going to be, especially an infielder, is going to be compared to Dustin Pedroia, right? And I'm not going to be like, this dude is Dustin Pedroia. But like, yeah, you could see the comparisons. You could see it, right? 100%. So thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't know if I would give him that now, but you could definitely see why people are doing that. If they put him in a rehab first and then say if Contreras, oh yeah, I guess that's true. Very silly. You might as well use the 20 free days. I guess that's true. They think he can increase it. I would imagine the Red Sox have a lot of hopes in what he could be. Also, by the way, Donna, thank you for being here for 16 months, man. I don't know if I said that or not. There was another point I wanted to. There's another point I wanted to talk about here. Oh, would I say I'm rooting for Team USA then this year in the WBC? No, I'm rooting for Venezuela. Wilson Contreras, and Ranger Suarez on the Venezuelan team? Yeah. What's up, AGA? Yeah. Been a minute since I joined the stream. What are my expectations for Massa? I don't really know if I have many expectations for Massa. I think... I don't know, dude. No, Narvaez didn't get cleared through insurance. Massa to me is like, he's kind of like a happy surprise, right? If he's really good, I'm gonna be pumped. I think that's sort of where I'm at, right? If he doesn't do anything, that's fine. Like the good news is that you're not like relying on Massa to be a legitimate bat in this order, right? You've got Contreras. I think Durbin could kind of fill that role of being a low strikeout guy. You can pop a couple out in the meantime. Like I don't think you need him, so it's sort of whatever he gives you is kind of a benefit. I don't even know if we're gonna see much of him this year. All things considered, like you're gonna need to platoon or not platoon. You need to rotate a lot of these outfield guys in the DH spot, and the only way to do that is to park his ass on the bench. I would vote for Team USA over the Red Sox WBC. Nah. No, I'm rooting for Venezuela. I actually have a Venezuelan jersey coming in. It's a Abreu Venezuelan jersey. I also have a Netherlands Sedan. For the WBC, these are changing, by the way. These are going to be WBC jerseys. Mickey Gasper. Oh, yeah, that's it right there. I'd love to see Massa and Casas run 40s side by side. Dude, have you seen Masataka Yoshida's running form? It wouldn't even be a competition. Yeah, 3 players are on Team Venezuela. Should have been 4. Wasn't. I'm most excited for Crochet Suarez 1-2. Yeah, I'm interested in that. I'm also really nervous about the WBC. Really nervous. Really nervous. Textbook running form Yoshida, yeah. Masataka Yoshida runs like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. And I will never, ever deny that fact. If there's anything we know about Massa, he's going to run the correct way. You looking forward to a drama-free Red Sox spring? Have you ever been to a Red Sox spring? There's going to be drama. It doesn't matter what it is. There will be something. Last year was exceptionally large, but there will be something. Casas will say something. Marcelo will say the wrong thing. Who's the best player for Venezuela? It's probably Acuna. Right, Acuna's playing. I think it'll be Acuna. Runs like the Lego man? Yeah. Yoshida runs like those PSA videos? Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like he literally runs like Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. Suarez could low-key be. Dude, I'm so scared that Suarez will get injured. Oh, my God. If I go here, do I get a GIF? This is Masataka Yoshida, Chad. This is literally his running. This is his running right here. Okay, look at this picture, right? Look at this picture. Hold on. Ready? Okay, here's Masa running, right? You can't tell the difference. It's the same person. It's like Masa saw Mission Impossible and was like, that's how I need to run. Look at that. There's probably an even better picture somewhere. A lot of these are this is it. Look at this. Let me see if I get an angle that he's kind of running the same thing in. Nah, this is probably the best one. It's the same thing. Do I see something missing? I know, versatility. I owe you an emote. What emote did you want? Let me see. Suarez emote? I think that's what it was. Let me see. A red seed emote. Okay, we'll do it. You said any emote, right? Never seen Masa and Tom in the same room. I mean, it's true, right? Look at this. Like, they're blurring into the same person for me. They're blurring into the same person. Dom Smith still up for grabs? Oh, dude, we'll have the best running team in baseball. Even though Suarez is number 2, Sonny Gray should be second behind Crochet. Then Suarez can make it left, right, left, right. I don't hate the idea. I'm more so interested to see which one of them stays more healthy. I'd love a Tech or Narvi emote since they are our captains. Okay, deal. Narvaez emote it is. I'm also going to put a... we'll definitely put a Suarez emote in here. We have a Roman emote. I need to put a Marcelo emote in here too. Do I see any more moves? I think they pick up a left-handed reliever at some point. The Lizard King, Jared Duran. Is Early going to be in the rotation or start in Worcester? I'd imagine Early probably starts in Worcester. Craig assembled a bunch of starting pitchers who can also be swingmen, which is huge for when we make the playoffs. Yeah, I don't disagree. Right, I think one thing the Red Sox looked at when they made the playoffs is, oh my God, we don't have a, kind of like they ran into a bunch of injuries, right? They didn't have enough experienced depth to handle those injuries. This year, I think Craig said, wait a second, what if we, not a chance, Kevin. What if we built up enough depth where if we do run into those injuries, which we probably will run into those injuries, we have those guys that we think can take over their positions and not lose enough of a skill gap here for us to be. I mean, if we think about coming into the third wild card game, right, where it was Conley Early versus Cam Schlittler, and we had the offense that had been going for the first 2 games. Like, we were sitting there with faith because we're Red Sox fans, but like, if you held a gun to our head, we probably would have said, we lost in game 2, we're not going to win game 3, right? Considering what Bayo gave you in game 2 and how close you were to winning game 2, and then getting to game 3 and just simply not being able to deliver what you probably should have done, which was having Giolito out there. Yeah, you sat there and you were like, okay, like this is kind of house money at this point, right? You should have won game 2. If you win this one, you're a miracle, and that's kind of it. Yeah, and I'm not saying Early was a bad pitcher by any means. It's just that this was Early's 5th start at the big league level, and he was starting in Yankee Stadium with the season on the line, right? The goal was to not have that happen. And not that Schlittler wasn't a rookie, but Schlittler also has what? He had like 15 games under his belt, right? It was a different kind of atmosphere for him. Plus, he was playing at home. How many games did he have under his belt here? I think he had like 13 or 14, right? Yeah, 14 games under his belt at that point in time. So it was like, it was sort of like, yeah, there's just like, you're probably not coming away with this one, especially with the way our offense was playing, That's sort of where I'm at with where the Red Sox pitching staff is at. Like I think Craig Breslow built this rotation out to survive to the postseason. Now, obviously, things happen and things get messed up during the season, obviously. But like again, you talk about it, and like the only guy who really you can't lose is Crochet. Right? You lose Crochet, you're screwed no matter. But that you could have 25 pitchers on your staff that could all start games. And if you lose Crochet, you're still screwed. Right, but if you lose Suarez, it sucks. But you got earlier Tolley that could come in and potentially fill that role for, obviously you would hate to see him sign. You'd hate to see Suarez go down for like 6 months. But like if you're losing him for a month, I think you're still comfortable with where you're at with Tolley early in there. You lose a Oviedo. Can you just slide Cutter Crawford into that for a little bit? Craig needs a good deadline. Yeah, I know, dude. He really does. We still have the pieces to make moves to the deadline. Yeah, I agree. Andrew, which player would have the biggest win drop if they got hurt? It's, in my opinion, not close. It's Garrett Crochet. To me, it's like Garrett Crochet and then Roman Anthony's like here, right? You lose Roman Anthony for a good chunk of the season, the offense is going to be in big trouble, right? If you lose Roman Anthony for a month, I think the offense can survive. You lose Garrett Crochet for a month, this rotation looks. I mean, to be fair, right? Any rotation looks way worse. It'd be like if the Tigers lost Skubal, right? Or even like the Dodgers losing Yoshinobu. You'd be like, oh my God. How does money look like for the cap space? You're pretty close to 300. You're pretty close, I think. I don't think I would want Crochet in the WBC. No. MLB. We want tax payroll specifically. Oh no, you're only at 256 million on the luxury tax. Is that right, chat? That doesn't sound right. You're at 260 million. So you're 4 million below the second. Is that right? What is the second? Second luxury tax threshold is 64, I think. Yeah. Am I losing my mind? Yeah, it is 264 million. So they're at 256. So yeah, you're right. They're 8 million below. So you've got some wiggle room for sure. You got some wiggle room for sure. Get the Roman extension kicks, but how the hell is it 250 plus? How the hell is it $250+ million team and the offense is anemic? Because the offense isn't anemic. Red Sox fans have just decided they're going to be terrible because they don't have a true, true big home run guy. The offense isn't going to be anemic. Bold prediction: teams start emulating the Red Sox roster construction from this offseason. Depth, and more depth. If the Red Sox win, maybe. If they lose, I don't think so. But you need a lefty and leave money for the trade deadline. I think you get a lefty for like $2 million. I don't think you're gonna need to spend like $6 million for Danny Coulomb, or even Justin Wilson. You could probably get away with like maybe a $4 million. But maybe you give him a big old signing bonus. you know what I mean? Figure it out. But I don't think that you're gonna be hard pressed, especially with Durbin being here. Coulom's about 4.5. So yeah, but he hasn't been signed yet. So maybe it's because teams are offering $3 or $4 million. I don't know. But even if it's $4 million, you still have $4 million to play with. And I mean, worst case scenario versatility, you flip a Sandoval at the deadline, you flip a Massa at the deadline, you know what I mean? Like maybe Massa has a decent enough season where you could 1.5 years for Massa is much different than being 2 years for Massa, Who's the captain? Carlos Narvaez. Outside of Narvaez, Crochet. Who are you talking to, Mike? Oh, Kenneth. Oh, okay. This Red Sox team is going to be bad. It's so annoying to me. Like, who on the offense are you confident will be an under-average hitter? Yeah, I don't disagree. Who do you think will be the big bat at the deadline? I have no idea. No idea. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Surprised they didn't even entertain a Justin Wilson reunion. I think they are absolutely entertaining that. I don't think Justin Wilson's too keen on coming. Like, I think you have to overpay to get Wilson back. Sounds like he's kind of like, dude, I'm good. I think I'm gonna retire. Yeah, you gotta get creative at the deadline a little bit. Maybe the deadline is where you flip Duran for a different bat. You know, maybe a little bit controllable bat. I don't know. Excuse me. Like, let's say this. I just had acid reflux and I swallowed it and it was disgusting. Let's say you get to the deadline and you're like $4 or $5 million under the luxury tax and you want to stay a little bit under there. And Duran's making what, $8 million a year, and you find a guy who's a power hitter who you think you can move, and he's making like $12 million a year. Well, you could do that too. You know, it's gonna be interesting. We got to remember that this is gonna be a full season without Walker Buehler and Jordan Hicks. True. Teams are gonna want to trade for two though, or else Craig is gonna have to attach a prospect again. Yeah, true. But that's what I'm saying. Like Sandoval, I think could be absolutely appealing for sure. Sandoval, I think, could be appealing. And it all comes back to, can Massa, like, again, is a year and a half of Massa, where this first half year was solid, going to be different than, 2 years where you don't really know what you're going to get from Massa? I think it could be a little bit different. I don't like mid-season big moves that take away from the team. I'd rather trade Duran in the offseason. That's fair. For sure, I understand that. Chris Bassett and the Baltimore Orioles are in agreement on a 1-year, $18.5 million. Wow, for Bassett. Pretty impressive. Man, the Orioles came into the offseason and said, we need a big arm, and they did not get a big arm, huh? Like, Bassett's fine. Like, he was good this year, but, like, man, 37? I guess this is kind of the equivalent of getting Sonny Gray, huh? Like, a little bit similar, I would say. How is he against the Red Sox? I feel like he's always good against the Red Sox. Let me see. Let's just do career against the Red Sox. I feel like, for some reason, I feel like Chris Bassett's always been solid. Yeah, he's been solid against the Red Sox. Yeah, the O's did want Ranger Suarez. How do I see the lineup? Does Roman lead off like last year? Or do you put him third in the lineup or clean up? I would, my opinion though. In my opinion, I think the best spot for Roman's second. Get him the most ABs humanly possible with the most options to score runs. I think it's second, right? But it just kind of depends. We had this conversation a little bit earlier, Carl. If it's not Roman Anthony leading off, who's your leadoff guy? Zach Gallen's market's drying up. Yeah, I know. I kind of realize that too, Kai. Like, there's just like, I don't know what it is about Zach. Like, Zach Gallen was terrible last year. I get that. But unless he's looking for a multi-year deal or like a lot of money, like you're telling me no team in baseball. What's up, Wes? No team in baseball is willing to take a chance that he gets back to like these numbers on a 1-year deal. I'm surprised. I am genuinely surprised. RIP to the Pat season. Yeah, that was tough, Chad. Have we talked about the Super Bowl on this channel yet? I don't think we have. That was brutal, huh? Oh my God. Such a boring Super Bowl. I think the guy we can least afford to lose on the position player side, I think, is Contreras. Contreras, you will lose at some point, though. Contreras, you will lose at some point. I think Zach Allen wants more than 22. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Drake may need some weapons for sure. How good was the halftime show? Dude, I love Bad Bunny. You know who got me into Bad Bunny was I was in Worcester when I was doing the when I was interviewing guys down in Worcester. They would like cycle through letting players choose the music. So it was always kind of music playing over the loudspeakers during, like, they were doing drills and stuff. And then Manuel Valdez would always put on some Bad Bunny. And every time I was like, man, this slaps. I don't know what he's saying, but it is awesome. So I started listening to him. So I've been a big fan of Bad Bunny for a minute. Either more years or more dollars. It's got to be more years, I think. Versatility, it has to be. And I just think, I forgot he had the QO attached to him for Zach Allen. Your best friend from high school works with Gaga, so he was there. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, that was literally me, Meek. I was like, oh, man. Little sitting there, waiting to interview players, like, not bad. Duran, Durbin, Anthony Contreras story. No, I don't think that's the lineup. You definitely don't put Durbin 2. You definitely don't put Durbin 2. I think if you're going to do something like that, it's probably Anthony 1, Contreras 2, Duran 3, Story 4, Durbin 5. Who goes where in this infield? Daily lineup, Corbin. I'm actually going to talk about that tomorrow, I think. Yeah, I like Alex Cora did an interview with Chris Cotillo today that kind of hinted at where guys are going to go. So we're going to try and piece together the rest of it based on that tomorrow. I will say my preliminary right now, it would probably be Duran, Anthony. The problem is you also need to balance left, right? Now, I'm not a huge guy that's like, oh, you need to be left, right. But it helps when you can get that in there. It throws off batters a little bit. So, in my opinion, the best in terms of, sort of value for your lineup, it's probably Duran, Anthony, Contreras, Story, Wilyer. Now, the problem with that is it's left, right, left. I don't know if Cora's going to want to do that. So, instead, I could see something like Anthony, maybe Story in 2. Anthony, Story, Duran, Contreras, Abreu might be something we do. Yeah, but Mike, you don't have to understand the songs to enjoy them. You know? You can still enjoy a song without understanding every word. I listen, I'm a big fan of rock music. There are a lot of rock singers that you can barely understand. You know what I mean? But you still like the music. There's a correlation with on-base percentage and home runs. So just because a guy hits homers doesn't mean he's a good leadoff hitter because on-base percentage is king. Yeah, I agree. What is the future of Triston Casas? I don't know. That's a great question. I think it's one step at a time. Right? It's one step at a time where you start with, okay, can he get into baseball shape? Right? That's what you got to figure out first. Then you figure out, can he get into Major League Baseball shape? Then once you figure that out, you got to figure out where to put him on the. Roster. So it's 3-step process, in my opinion, Carl. We haven't even gotten to, can he get back into baseball shape? You know. Cora hinted at Anthony, Duran, Story, Contreras, Abreu. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Thanks for spoiling it, versatility. Yeah. If you can listen to Swedish metal and not appreciate Bad Bunny, I don't know what to tell you, Mike. It might just not be music for you. You know what I mean? I have no idea. Now that is pretty much exactly what he hinted at. So we'll talk about it. Is that exactly what I said? Six through 9, Abreu, Meyer, Rafaela, Narvaez. No, I think Abreu goes 5. I think you go Abreu 5, Durbin 6, Meyer 7, Narvaez 8, Cedon 9. What, Mike? Michael, I'm not allowed to say I enjoy Bad Bunny and I enjoyed his halftime show? That's crazy. One through nine, all our guys are fun to root for. Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anyone in here that I'm like, oh man, like so and so's coming to the plate. I just like the problem is like I say that now we're gonna see what it's like in in June or July. Why is everyone so focused on Triston Duran? Because the problem is you have 4 outfielders and not really anywhere to put them. It's so hard to predict this team. Yeah, I don't disagree, Timothy. I would be surprised if they ended up with 75. I would be surprised they ended up with 75. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up with 85, 95, or 80. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the range I think you're looking at. 75, if they have a losing season, I'll be shocked. At least you tried Duran, Cedon at leadoff. Did Cedon ever get some time at leadoff? Who's faster, Rafael or Duran? I think statistically Duran is faster. Starting pitcher too good for 75. That's kind of what I mean, dude. Like if you get to 75 wins, you had real problems. You had real problems. No, Cedon never let off last year. Interesting. So I think we make the playoffs. Yes. I think the Red Sox make the playoffs. Yes. They'll win 95 plus. It's a bold take. Has Cedon ever let off? I could have sworn they were. Never expect a walk to open the game. Yeah, I'm not crazy worried about walks. Yeah, he did. I mean, he really wasn't terrible in the leadoff spot. Like, he wasn't great. He wasn't terrible. I wonder when he did lead off, though. Was that like that must have been like 2024, I'd imagine. Couldn't have been. There's no way Cora was putting him in there in 23. Batting order positions. Yeah. Oh, wow. He was terrible in 24. So it was 23 that he let off. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I don't think Cedon's the answer. I think you need to get Cedon take another step forward before you go, hey man, you're leading off. 5 outfielders, don't forget about Campbell. True. On too much contact, I think it fits Durbin. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably a good video to watch for him. His nickname's Rafi. I saw that. And it actually is. Like, Red Sox players have called him Rafi before. They call him, Rafi, something like that. That's the conversation I think we have to have, Tubester, is Anthony is the perfect leadoff guy, but as the lineup's currently constructed, is he the perfect leadoff guy? That's right. Like in any other, like last year, Roman Anthony was the perfect leadoff guy because he had Bregman in the middle and he had Story in the middle. Is it the same situation this year with Wilson Contreras? I don't know. I think I'd rather I'd rather Roman Anthony's potential to drive runs in. I don't know. Cedon would be better 4 than 1. I don't think Cedon would be a good 4. I think Cedon's the perfect 9-hole hitter. Like, even if he's an above average hitter, I want him in the 9-hole. Like, it's like 9-hole, yeah, I understand it. It's probably like the worst guy on the team most times. If you have a 9-hole guy that's really good, you pretty much have a secondary leadoff guy. You know what I mean? Like, you're coming in the bottom 9, 9, 1, and 2, and it's not some wasted 9. It's a guy who can legitimately make an impact. That's a huge boost to your lineup. So, I like Cedon in the 9-hole. I don't want to move him up if we don't have to. You can't put him and Duran back to back. That's kind of, yeah, but that's the problem I'm running into is you're talking about, okay, Roman Anthony is the perfect number 2 hitter. He's an on-base guy. He's your best hitter. But, like, if you don't have a number 1, he has to be there. Who's your number 3, Williard? No, I think I would put Contreras at number 3. I think it's Contreras. Contreras or Story, I think, to start the year. To start the year is probably your number 3. Who's the comp for Cedon's ceiling? Dude, that's so hard. I mean, the guy who gets compared to the most is Pete Crow Armstrong, right? How did he end the season? If Cedon can get to this, instead of 30 home runs, it's like 20, and the average is like 265, and he's a 118 OPS plus, that's probably, I think would be probably your ceiling. How many games did he walk off in the 9-hole? 3 or 4? 3? Mookie's not Cedon's ceiling. I love Cedon. Mookie's not Cedon's ceiling. It's just not Cedon's ceiling. I don't get the 9-hole hurting Cedon either, but I guess I can kind of understand it. Yeah, I get it, Dale. I wasn't really entertaining. I was just kind of looking. Your lineup, okay. Duran, Story, Anthony, Contreras, Abreu. Yeah, this works really well, I think. I like you putting Narvi in the 6 hole. I actually think that's a solid spot for him. My hope is that at some point it would go my hope this year, and I think what really could be the difference between the Red Sox that could really make a difference on the Red Sox would be Marcelo Meyer kind of hitting his way into the middle of this order. You know? How do I feel if we sign Jalen Beeks? I wouldn't any lefty reliever I have faith the Red Sox have legitimate reasoning for. Let's say for argument's sake Casas gets back to his normal baseball shape. Is he someone we could use for a trade at the deadline? Yeah, potentially, but the Red Sox also, I mean, Wilson Contreras, I wouldn't sit there. Oh yeah, Romy will definitely lead off against lefty. That's a good point. What was I saying? Oh, Wilson Contreras is getting older, right? And I think the goal for the Red Sox would be to, if you get Triston Casas back in a regular baseball shape, and he was kind of what he was back in 23, right before all those freak injuries happened. If you get him to that, if you could put Wilson Contreras at the DH and Triston Casas at first base, or honestly flip him, doesn't really matter to me. That's an incredible middle of the order, Meyer's perfect future would be a number 2 or number 3. I don't know that he gets there. Even if Marcel Meyer develops into a solid number 5 guy, where he's gonna hit 15, 16 home runs. He's gonna hit 30, 40 doubles. I always compare it to not Prime Xander. Prime Xander was really good, and I think people forget that. Still sad they didn't bring him back and went with Durbin. Still sad that ended up happening. But if you go here, right, this is kind of to me what Marcelo Meyer's ceiling is, right? Where it's, 45 doubles, 23 home runs, drives in a bunch of runs. This, and I understand that's Xander Bogaerts was your number 3. But if this is what you're getting in a 5-hole for the foreseeable future, dude, you're psyched. You know what I mean? There was a stretch here where Xander was doing that every year, basically. From 2018 to 2022, pretty much, he was that guy. And if you can get that out of him, that's a 5, Do I think it was smart for the Red Sox to not give away Marcelo for Marte? The only way we're going to know that is if, Marcelo develops. I don't have an answer for that right now. Who has a higher ceiling, Christian Campbell or Marcelo Meyer? I've always been a Meyer guy, so my answer is Meyer. I think Meyer is... in my opinion, if we're really getting down to it, Dale, I think Meyer is better defensively, and I think Meyer has an easier swing to continuously replicate. And what I mean by that is you don't have to make a ton of swing adjustments to Marcelo's natural swing, right? I think with Marcelo, he it's easier to see him getting to his potential than it is Christian Campbell at this moment because of what his floor looks like. So I'm taking Marcelo. I think he has the higher ceiling. There are 5 guys capable of 2020. 2020? Who would that even be? Duran? Roman, maybe? I don't think Roman's going to run a lot this year. Story, Sadon. Willier? Are you putting Willier in there? Meyer could be a plus defender, whether he hits or not. True. Did we significantly improve the defense with Contreras and Durbin added to this infield? Added to this infield plus Marcel Meyer playing every day? Yeah, I think so. Unpopular opinion. Okay. Campbell's defense and swing approach make me doubtful he will even succeed at the major league level. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see with Campbell. We'll see. I think I can understand what you're saying there. It's just hard for me to give up on a guy who's played 67 games at the major league level, you know? What's up, Austin? Durbin? Durbin's not getting to 20 home runs this year. IKF might start at third, Marcelo in AAA. If that happens, if the Red Sox decide to put Marcelo Meyer in AAA and start IKF at third base, I am going to go nuclear. Nuclear. Because Marcelo Meyer can give you the same defense. He has a much higher ceiling at the plate, and he's supposed to be a guy that you didn't trade him for. If you are going to put, I'm already crashing out. This hasn't happened yet. If you didn't trade him for Ketel Marte and then decide he's going to stay in AAA and do essentially nothing, when you have the ability to platoon him with multiple guys on this team, Eaton can play third base, Sogard can play third base. Those are guys who can hit lefties. You could even platoon him with IKF if you wanted to. I'm going to lose my mind. Oh, I'm glad you got one, Austin. You know what's funny? I sent one to you, but I'm having so many issues with getting my merch out that it never showed up. So I apologize. I was going to reach out to you, actually. I just got a message like 3 days ago about it. So I apologize, Austin, that I wasn't able to get you one, but I appreciate you ordering it, man. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. These in my opinion are much higher quality than my other ones because they're embroidered. Are there any rookies on the Sox this year that can win Rookie of the Year? No. Unless Peyton Tolley or Conley earlier are at the front here. I will lose my mind. I appreciate it, Austin. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think we're gonna have some sort of meetup. Corbett, don't forget about the Red Sea tote bag. I talked to them about that. Haven't heard back about it. Meyer, is he a rookie? No, he exceeded eligibility last year. Durbin was 11 and 18 last year. Now he's got the monster in his left eye. I know, Tubester. I just like to go from 11 to 20 home runs is a big jump. Not in this year. Maybe if we see like him get up to 12 or maybe get up to 14 or 15 this year, you could see that jump maybe next year. But a 10 home run jump would be tough. Conley Early could win it. Yeah, but I think for Conley Early to win it, he's got to start the year on the major league team. For a pitcher to win it, you've got to have a really dominant, like, multiple month season. You know what I mean? How long did it take Pedroia to hit the 20 home run benchmark? Pedroia must have hit it at least once. He only hit 20 home runs one time, and it was that 2011 season. Ay. Ay. That was his best season, huh? Even the year he won MVP wasn't his best year. How would I rate the Red Sox offseason? So far, I think I'm at a B minus, Carl. And I have a lot of reasons as to why. I'm waiting. I'm going to make a full video at some point to talk about why I think it's a B minus, because there's a lot that goes into it. But I think I'm at a B minus right now. Announce a month in advance for when you want the ballpark get together. I'll plan for. Yeah. I'm gonna contact the people. It's gonna be at the Mighty Squirrel. I'm hoping. I'm gonna talk to him. Monasterio opinion. I actually think Monasterio is really, really intriguing. It's just sort of like, for me, it's a little bit redundant. Like, you've got a bunch of guys who can kind of fill that type of, depth utility role. I'm curious to see how he plays out. I think he'll be in AAA to start the year, I imagine. I'm sure we'll talk about him at some point this spring. I have a feeling he's going to be one of those guys that you get halfway through the spring and it's like, oh, wow, this could be a legitimate piece on the team. Predict one player that just surprises you and one player that regresses this year. Okay. Surprises me. The problem is I'm really high on a lot of these guys. Let me think. Does anyone know when the full trade between the Red Sox and the White Sox will be released? What trade? Okay. Surprises me that I'm not super high on. Carlos Narvaez, I think, is the guy who could surprise me this year with his bat. I think you see him take a step forward defensively and offensively. In terms of regresses, unfortunately, I think I'm going to say Chapman. I don't think Chapman's going to be like the best closer we've ever seen in like decades this year either. I think he'll still be good. I think he'll still be a reliable reliever, but I don't think it'll be like, oh my God, what a dog, I don't think it'll be that guy. Crochet could surprise you. Dude, Crochet with that new changeup is unbelievable. Like, that would be crazy. If Crochet's better than this year than he was last year, I'll drop dead. Hit a career year last year, yeah. Like, I still think he'll be good. Like, I don't know. I still think Chapman will be a good closer. But like, dude, like, he was the best closer in baseball last year. By far the best closer in baseball. I finished 7th in Cy Young voting. See, this last time he did that was 2012. Maybe he gets back to this like 309 or like 245. I could see sort of where Chapman sits in, right? That's still a pretty big regression, but like, that's still a really good reliever. You know what I mean? Like, this is still a guy who could 100% be a closer for you. The Orioles are the team to be right now? No, Owen, no. The Blue Jays and the Yankees are both definitively, I think, more of a competition than the Orioles. The only way the Orioles make the postseason this year is if they outslug everybody. This will be an interesting conversation, right? You know what I mean? Like, I think the Red Sox pitching being a mecca versus the Orioles just trying to out-homer everybody will be an interesting conversation at some point this year. Who will the Red Sox leader in doubles be this season? Caleb Durbin might be a good call here, Carl. Doubles. Yeah, I agree, versatility. I think it's going to be an incredibly tight division this year. Again, I think it's all going to come down to, can the Orioles outslug? If the Orioles cannot, like, the problem with the Orioles is last year they tried to do the same thing, and what happened was that guys didn't take the step forward that they wanted them to. Like, you go here and it's like Adley Rutschman below average, Colby Mayo below average, Jackson Holiday was below average, Gunnar was still Gunnar. Ramon Urias, whatever. Mullins was solid. Ramon Laureano, why is he in here? But like, a lot of these guys didn't take the steps that they wanted them to. Plus, Tyler O'Neill was hurt for most of the year, right? Like, if this happens again, they are not going to be really in competition for anything, because they didn't, like, if you look at the pitching staff, like, did it get better? Yeah, it got better, but I don't know that it got like significantly better. So we'll see. All right, chat. I'm headed out for the night. 2 hours tonight. Wow, we really I got on a tangent. I'm gonna rant every time for these. I don't know why. I don't know why I find ranting things. I just do. I don't know. Regardless, I appreciate you guys being here, man. It means a lot. We went on some rants. We had some good times. It was a lot. This was a really fun live stream. Not a ton of arguing, which I thought was interesting. I thought there was going to be more arguing against me, but I think a lot of you guys are in the same boat where it's like, yeah, the offense could have been way better, but that doesn't mean that the offense is bad. I think the Red Sox are in a good spot to be a good team this year, and I'm excited for them. And I think projections are just that, projections. They're not reality sometimes. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'll be back tomorrow. I think unless something else comes out, early in the morning, which I don't think is going to happen, we'll probably talk about the lineup and Triston Casas tomorrow. And then from there, this weekend, I might do my grading for the Red Sox. I'm still debating when to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I just even if the Red Sox sign a left-handed reliever, is that going to change my grade from what it is to higher or lower? I don't think so, right? I think it'll still be in that same area. So I might do that this weekend. Regardless, I appreciate you being here. For those of you who donated, became a member, got a gifted membership, all that good stuff, I really, really appreciate it. It was an unbelievably generous stream tonight. Thank you. If you haven't considered subscribing, we do this once a week. We talk Sox basically every single day. Also hit the like button if you haven't already. Helps these videos get out to more people, and it lets me know that you enjoy the podcast. Thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you in the Red Seat.